I'm not a professional at this. This is just a way to document some of the riding we've done in very special places, and it was easy enough to do so. Hold on, Ellie wants to hold my hand apparently. So I think Bob's like going to record us from behind, holding hands riding, because he couldn't do it when we were coming here, going like 70 miles an hour or something, so whatever. Cruise control's nice, ladies and gents. Beautiful place. Everybody's been very nice and helpful. Food's been great. We ate at the same place for breakfast today as we did yesterday. Very, very delectable. Food's been pretty good. I had a few locals kind of poo-poo the local cuisine, and saying it's surprisingly bad, but I don't necessarily feel like I've had a terrible meal. Now yesterday we did get into town and we were planning on having dinner, but we got into town like 9:45 and every place really closed, so there was really limited options and we didn't have any food really at the B&B, so we just got like a Mexican place before they closed. It was sufficient, although you got to be real careful if you're doing these like real long days motorcycle riding, that you don't eat anything that really upsets your stomach, because it can be hard to find a restroom out here. And so really wants to hold hands again. It can be hard to find a restroom, so it's my sort of protocol to have an Imodium each day, just one or two, I don't know, maybe two, each day before the long ride, just to have it be an insurance plan, so I don't have to worry about, you know, finding the next bathroom when we're on these long trips. But so far, so good. Everywhere you go, Colorado, well, except for like far east Colorado at the Kansas border, it seems like everywhere you go in Colorado, this is what you see, which is just brilliant. This is definitely one of those areas in the States where you could go anywhere, honestly, and you're not going to have a bad ride. There's going to be some twisties. There's definitely going to be beauty of the local environment. It's just, I don't know. There's not many bad decisions you can make here other than pushing your limits and dumping your shit off of a mountain somewhere, which there's certainly plenty of opportunity to do so. Ride within your means, folks. Good news is for whatever reason today, my Sena and phone and Garmin are all synced up, so I can hear my directions from both devices, and Spotify's working, so I'm not sitting here riding in silence. So overall, a better situation than yesterday. I forgot to mention, or didn't mention because I finished the recording or the camera died or something, but Allie, or Panda's bike with the auxiliary fuel tanks, come to find out it worked 50%. Only one of the tanks emptied, and the other one, when we stopped for gas, that I assumed I would have to fill up, was still full. So we're gonna try again and see what's so what the deal is, if it drains the same way or not. I think it could be the vent line. It has a little screw cap top, and so you know how loose is loose, but how tight is going to keep it from coming off. That kind of deal. That, and currently we're like 2 miles above sea level, and so with that, there's all sorts of pressure things that happen with closed containers like fuel tanks and bags of chips. The gas station we stopped at, we noticed that when you like go to the bag of chips section, like all of them are puffed up real tight, which is something we noticed because on our ride up to Colorado in the truck, we noticed this bag of chips that we had sitting on the dash blew up like a balloon, which is kind of funny. But oh well. I did hear briefly in the recording once we got home and put on the computer that you guys very much so can hear the exhaust of my bike. I hear it a little bit less because I've got some earplugs in, but it's just kind of funny because the mic to this recording, or the GoPro, is really just at the base of my lower lip. So you're inside the helmet, that's where the audio is coming from, but still it's loud. But I understand that. Again, I always reference my motorcycle's exhaust note to that of the most annoying sound on Earth or the universe or whatever it is for Dumb and Dumber. So it is what it is. I'm sure we could just lower that background noise down post edit or whatever. But what really matters is recording the views of what I'm seeing to all of you, and hopefully you'll be able to appreciate that. Although GoPro really kind of flattens out altitude and like steepness of hills, so if it looks flatter than it actually is, I kind of understand that. What a beautiful area. Still got to watch out for wildlife. We did see a few deer on the way in, and certainly don't want to have that sort of encounter for this. Beautiful roads. Let's slow it down. Oh well. Lots of cabins. Tell you what, they call it a chalet. It's funny because it's Chalet 69, which we just got a big kick out of. It's small. It's real small, but it's got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 full, 1 half, and it's got like a lofted area, which I think needs to be approved by the city before someone can actually live there. So I don't know. But it's a really kind of cozy area. Certainly enough for 3 people. You could probably fit 5 or 6 people in there comfortably. I did get the warning for low tire pressure. Let's see where we're at. We're fine. It's because we've gone up in elevation. It's not leaking. 34.8. Everybody remember that. The TPMS sensor goes off at 36, but we are over 2 miles up in the air, so that's certainly a reason why. funny, if you don't zoom in enough, this little road, Cottonwood Pass or whatever they're calling it, like it doesn't show up on the GPS. So I would have totally missed it, because I usually kind of string routes together on Google Maps, and you've got to be like right up in the zoom feature to see this road even exists. Most times the only time that happens is like hiking roads. So like Phantom Canyon Road, like it's the similar thing. Like GPS won't acknowledge it because it thinks you only want to ride on asphalt, which I appreciate that function in most regards. But when it comes to finding that road, it kind of is reluctant to suggest it or show you it, because it's not a viable option in a lot of cases. That said, when we used to live in South Carolina, I planned a route, and everything was beautiful, lots of twisties for South Carolina, nothing near like this. But there was a segment of the road that was just not there, and so I was actually on my Thruxton R, and there's a few super sport bikes, and there was probably about a 2 to 3 mile strip of kind of like gravelly, dry dirt. We all made it fine, but it was a lot of like riding with your feet down and kind of walking the bike to the other side. But whatever, we'll make it. Destination should be nice. Of turns here, which is fine. Yesterday, part of the peak to peak, they had a few ones, and it was just enough to really scratch that itch and lean the bike over, kind of getting into your comfort zone or out just outside of it, or maybe the terminal was pushing it. I don't know, but it was nice. Lots of trailheads. Tell you what, we put some air in my tires this morning. Again, we're significantly higher than that portion now, but pretty obvious change in handling. My tires have several thousand miles of wear on them, and so living in East Coast kind of stuff, you still develop a flat spot. So yeah, my center line is a little flat, definitely not showing grade, but I imagine after this trip I'll change, which is fine, because I already have Michelin Road 6s already at the house. Allie's bike, the tread was more worn, so much so that there was no center tread, and so she replaced before the trip, so she's got fresh Michelin Road 6s, and I think she's in love with those, which, they're just phenomenal tires, super grippy, and not concerned at all about wet weather, which is all I could ask for. That's when things get hairy. Not an off-road tire, obviously, but sport touring or sport in general, it's a pretty phenomenal tire. Something I was kind of thinking about a day or two back when we were driving through, you know, the boring states of Missouri and Kansas and whatnot. They refer to a lot of that, like Midwest states, as flyover states, right? Most people just, you know, there's nothing to see there. You can just fly over them. Just get past them as fast as possible. And that was certainly our objective for the trip, but we can't fly with motorcycles, so we gotta haul them across country. But oddly enough, I kept an eye to the sky, and I never once saw like a chemtrail or a plane. Saw a plane flying over, and I know that's, you know, probably just an anomaly, and I'm sure there are planes that fly over and there's no issue. But I just figured for areas that are considered quote-unquote flyover states, that there'd be, you know, planes that you would just see, that's chemtrails or something, just, full of people flying. But who knows? Just an observation. Be interested if you had the same one. Got a few little twisties up here. 20 mile an hour. Another 20. No need to really push yourself. Just look where you want to go. First gear turns. Watch where you want to go. Get your weight right. It's a 15 miler. It's probably a decreasing radius. Looks like it. Feels good. Stay high in the revs so you got plenty of room to move or engine brake, several options to slow down, because forget what they used to teach us in like paramotors training, but it's like talking about like how slow is actually fast, slow is fast. So I don't know, just take things easily, always look where you want to go. Now it's definitely a decreasing radius. They get tight, they tighten up right at the end. That change in the surface gets you a little iffy, right? Gets you a little iffy. But I do appreciate there's not a lot of traffic on this road, makes some of the potential stressors of this route a lot less. Avoiding traffic and animals, that's key. I just looked back and only saw Allie, and I got scared because, you know, Bob's behind her, and when they get in the line, I think, oh Lord, what happened to Bob? So he's fine. I see him now. We all recognize when we get into these more technical sections, just kind of make sure you have full use of the lane and everybody has, you know, space. That's key. For sure. Tar snake. Jiggle, jiggle. Make me fold. Slow it down. Slow is fast. Slow is fast. Fuck you, tar snake. They get slick. Yes, they do. Why are people pulled over? Hopefully it's a trail and not an animal. Looks like a trail, which is good. Up there. What a beautiful area. Third gear, this should be fine. And uphill. The downhills that are a little iffy, right? We talked about that last time. This is kind of a hairpin. I know there's traffic coming down the mountain. Signal to these guys to slow it down. Just slow it down. What a beautiful place to be. What a beautiful place. Turnoff area looked a little congested, and I didn't see a good place for a photo up as far as like where to park. So that's all right. There's good. We've got a kind of a longer day today. Not that many miles. It's like 400, which I guess is a lot. But if you have all day to do it, maybe not so much. But it's like a 10 or more hour day of riding your motorcycle, and so we gotta not dilly-dally too much, which is part of the reason why it's nice to kind of record while you're riding. It's nice to record while you're riding because you can keep moving. It's very sharp downhill 20 mile an hour. So this is one of those don't F ups turns. Just dragging that rear brake, don't hit the gravel. Watch where you want to go, not where you want to end up, or not where you could end up. So your gravity's pulling me down the hill. Their space. It also really helps to have the GPSs up because I can kind of see the degree of the turn, which it's kind of like having like the mini map on Grand Theft Auto when you're running from the cops in the game. Like you have a heads up to what to expect and how you're gonna drive to manipulate. So it really takes some of the turn anxiety away, because you have an idea of what's coming up, and all it takes is a glance. All it takes is a glance to see what's coming up. Like right now, it's a very minor turn, and you got a hairpin like 4 or 5 away. Not to say you have to go fast through here, but gives you an idea what gear to pick. There was a little gravel there in the road. One of the worst places to have gravel is on a downhill slope. Shit like this. That's why you always gotta ride anticipating anything. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of what they call street Rossies or whatever that, you know, could race this at 2 or 3 times the speed we're going and lean over real tight. But there's just, you gotta be fucking careful. It doesn't take much. In paramotor school, you know, they talk about, you know, this is a, like, layman's terms, a butt Fiat. It's a 2-stroke engine on your back with a big propeller and then a piece of fabric above you. And so people that get into the sport, they'll do it, and then some people get into acrobatics, or they're doing flips and stuff, or they're low to the ground and they're trying to like swing through trees and whatnot. And one of the sayings they have is like who are you trying to impress? Like, people are already impressed the damn thing's in the air, right? And so you don't need to like go trying to impress people by showing off if it increases your risk profile so much that, you know, you could be seriously injured or killed. And so the same thing kind of goes here. Like, it's a motorcycle, it's got 2 wheels, not 4 wheels. Not only do we face a lot of the same dangers that motorists face, cars, cagers, whatever, but we have 2 less wheels, right? And so just be damn thankful. So I had to focus there. Be damn thankful the thing you can actually ride it, right? So just to have the opportunity to do this type of riding versus the car, that's satisfaction really enough to push the envelope, you know, significantly further. You know, you can put yourself in a position where maybe you can no longer ride a motorcycle. So just keep things in perspective. We still have 11 more miles left, but we're coming down off hills and stuff. That's good. I don't know if you noticed, I looked out at the GPS for a little bit longer than I should have, and my trajectory was off, so I had to quickly correct. Bicyclists, whew. Bless your hearts. Whew. You got a ways to go, my friends. You got a ways to go. It's like a boxer with its tail, or a pit bull. Well, not a pit bull, it's a Rottweiler. That's what I meant to say, not pit bull. Be happy the the damn thing rides. Look where you want to go, look where you want to go, look where you want to go, look where you want to go. Don't hit rocks, don't hit rocks, don't hit rocks, don't hit rocks. That's pretty much what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I remember, we'll focus one more time on this turn. So I remember growing up, one of my good friends at the time had like a go-kart, like a Gravedigger go-kart in his backyard. We created into like a Gravedigger off-road track, no jumps or anything, but like just a little off-road circus where we could whip around, and he had a tree fort that you could go under and the whole deal. And it was my turn, and I was thrilled to death. We were all just kind of pushing it, you know, more and more. And I pushed it, and I don't know if it was a rock or like a piece of brick in the ground or something, but hitting that was just enough to sort of pop the wheel up and lose enough control that the tree adjacent was where I hit. And I fucked that go-kart up, tore the axle up. They had to build the axle. It was a mess. I felt so bad that I did that. But that's my story about hitting a rock and shit getting real quick. So oh well. Try to take this one in second gear. Yeah, we'll be fine. Same deal here. Let's follow the line, follow the line, follow the line. Look far enough ahead, follow the line. Good here for a bit. Another thing to keep in mind of is, especially with wearing like ADV boots and having a larger sized foot, is with sort of sport bike controls, foot controls. It feels like you're kind of riding with clown shoes on, and so I'm constantly reminding myself to like get my feet tucked into the bike and ride on the balls of my like toes, instead of like when we're what's the term, touring. I'll be lazy and have my toes dangle, but if I do, and then we did turns like that, certainly the road could catch my foot, snap my ankle or whatever. And I've come close to that a few times, and it's kind of a pucker moment when you have that experience. So it's all paved. Shoo-wee. Could have taken it in third gear. Who knows? It's hard to tell with GPS how steep the downward slope is. So it's better to have a lower gear than the higher gear when you're going downhill. Especially if you're unsure of what the turnings will be like, which right now it's fine. 6 miles left. Don't fuck it up. Carrying a boat up here? Are you going fishing? You know where to fish up there? Just cruising. Enjoying the life. We gotta make sure to stop, pick up some beer for after when we get back, so we can enjoy with some drinks. Gotta make sure to do that. Bob's still back there. We're doing great. More twisty down here. It's probably kind of at the end, wrapping things up. Can't imagine bringing an RV up here. Tuck my foot in, get the clown shoes out of the way. Look where you want to go. Don't hit gravel. And you're good. Miles left. Look at this. My God. What an absolute opportunity. Way to be. Lake out here. Gorgeous. Hope I'm still recording. jet ski, so I want to make sure we don't send it into the lake. And we're taking a left turn here. Oh Lord, stretch, stretch, stretch. Stretch, stretch, stretch. God shed His grace on me. My Lord, look at this. That's where we came from, up there. Pretty neat. What's my tire pressure at now? We're good. We good, fam. The outpost. We made it. Woo, woo. Beautiful. Love it up here. Love it, love it, love it, love it. To be. Don't hit gravel. Don't hit gravel. Look at all the 4x4s. Elevation 9,400 feet. 9,400. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? I guess we can park anywhere. Oh, well, that's it. I'm still recording. That's cool.